This is WINEormous Tastes. I'm Tom Plant, and we're very excited to get this ball rolling here. Lots of fun things to do. We're going to taste a couple of wines today. I'm going to have a visit with both with Nick Palumbo and with Bill Wilson from Wilson Creek. And we'll start things off with the 2019 Bonterra Organic Rosé. It's Grenache based, beautiful color. I've already been tasting it because I thought we were on, but we weren't, and now we are. So welcome. This is Grenache based. It's got a really pretty nose. I get ruby red grapefruit. There's a little pomegranate. It's a very, very nice wine, and it's $16 a bottle, which I think is a steal. Let me read you a little bit of their philosophy. Organically farmed and masterfully made Bonterra Organic Vineyards wines are crafted to be perfectly in tune with nature. Our dedicated team was committed to organic and biodynamic farming because we passionately believe that farms teeming with biodiversity, encompassing vines, insects, and wildlife, and healthy soils yield better wines. And they are made, this wine is made from certified organically grown grapes. And as Nick Palumbo would tell you, that is not an easy certification to attain. So good on them, good on them. Speaking of Nick, I was in wine country for the first time in over a month, I think, on Tuesday. And among other people, I met with Nick Palumbo. Nick and I go way back. All right, I'm sitting here with Nick Palumbo at Palumbo Vineyard and Winery. And Nick, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
I kind of vaguely recognize this place. It's been a while since I've been out here.
Yeah. Well, we've been here all along, just nobody else has.
Tell us about the new normal. What's going on?
Yeah, in all honesty, the world's changed around us, but our world really hasn't, other than the fact that our tasting room's been closed. But we got farming to do. We've got winemaking to do. Couldn't get rid of anybody. It wasn't something that we could just, get rid of all of our employees and be done. So we've been business as usual in terms of, being farmers and winemakers.
How are the vines looking? I mean, I'm looking at them; they look beautiful. But what are you seeing in the vineyard?
Looks good. Looks really good. What we look for here in Temecula and Southern California is good rainfall during the winter, and we had that. It kind of got quite a bit of rain early around December, then dried up a little bit. Then we have had a little bit more recently, and that's great because what that does really is leaches out the soils, any salts that build up, and gets the vines ready to pop. And you can tell behind me that they have. We're off to the races now with the next season. We're just getting through bloom, which is where the flowers come out and the grapes start to develop, and been perfect weather for bloom. Nice fruit set, no rain events, a little bit of wind, and that's fine, but it's been good. It's been real good. So far, so good in the vineyards.
Tell me what's going on in the tasting room.
Nothing. That's the bad news.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. No, construction wise. Yes. Okay. Yeah. We actually, we realized real quick that, whether it's posturing or not, when the powers that be let us open, they're going to say you have to have people 6 feet apart and you have to do this and that. And for any of you that have been to our tasting room, our prior tasting room was 400 square foot, which sounds ridiculous. That's the size of a kid's bedroom, really. But that's been our tasting room all along. We had a wall inside the building that we could blow out, and we did that. We opened it up to an additional 400 square foot, so that really essentially doubled our space, and that's going to allow people, when we do open, to have a little bit more room to move around.
What's in barrel now that you're thinking about bottling in the near future?
You know what? Actually, we do have a bottling scheduled in August, but what I'm really excited for is I'm going to place an order for our labels for a previous bottling that we did, our first Tannat release.
I can't wait.
Yeah, Tannat, we're really excited for. We planted Tannat. We have vineyards here in Temecula on what I like to refer to on the valley floor. Out where everybody knows where the wineries are. That's where we have our tasting room and several of our vineyards, but we bought some acreage out in Duluth, way out west on the other side of the 15, and have a beautiful site for Tannat. So we planted some Tannat out there, and we're going to have that released pretty soon.
I was fortunate enough to get a barrel taste of that, and that's going to be a special wine.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, now I'm excited about it. I think Tanat out there, Syrah, and our Grenache from those vineyards, a little bit cooler out there, anywhere from 2 to 10 degrees cooler on any given day throughout the year. And I'm really excited about those wines.
Do you have a guesstimate as to when you might be reopening for tasting?
I really don't, but I do see, we finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. We don't have any dates yet, but I do see potentially in the next couple of weeks, they might allow certain things. We don't have a restaurant, so that's going to hinder us a little bit. I know there's been talk about allowing the restaurants at wineries to open a little bit. As far as pure tasting room opening, I'm not really sure, but we're gearing up and we're going to be fully prepared with everything, all the mandates, all the requirements. We're going to be ready to go in the next week or two, and then it's up to them.
As always, thanks for your time, Nick. It's a pleasure to see you.
Good seeing you, and thanks a lot.
And it is always a pleasure to see Nick. He's a great guy. We've known each other over 10 years now, probably closer to 15. If you were to meet him, you didn't know who he was, and you'd say, well, Nick, it's nice to meet you. What do you do? He'd probably answer, well, I'm a farmer. And he knows that it starts in the vineyard, and that if you don't get it right there, you're not going to have quality wine. So I'm a big fan of Nick and Cindy and the entire Palumbo family. I love their wines. I've been waiting for a long time for Nick to release another Merlot, and he just did. The 2015 Merlot came out at the end of last year. It is phenomenal. I asked him how long I should lay it down. He said, nah, pop it now. And I agree. I tasted it in the tasting room in December, and it really, he makes one of the best Merlots I've ever tasted. And another little swallow of the Bonterra Organic Rosé. It was such a treat to go out in wine country, see how healthy the vines are looking. And, really, it's kind of business as normal to a point. The work must go on. The winemakers are doing their thing. The vineyard managers are there. And I went to two extremes. I went from Palumbo, which is a boutique winery, to Wilson Creek Winery. And Wilson Creek, of course, is one of the larger wineries in Temecula. I've also known Bill Wilson for many, many, many years. We've become good friends through the years. And so we sat down, we had a visit, and here is my visit with Bill Wilson. He's quite a guy. I am here with Bill Wilson. What is your title these days at Wilson Creek?
Yes. CEO.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the, quote, new normal, Bill?
First of all, I hate that term, new normal, and I hate unprecedented times. We've all used that way too much. But the new normal is, as I told you a little bit, everybody seems to be over this. Let's move on, get on with cautionary. It's going to be a new norm that we're going to have to don masks for, not yourself, but for other people, out of respect. We're going to have cleaning protocols in place and all stuff that's going to cost us more money to deliver the product, so to speak. But, we're willing to do that because, we got to do something. So the new normal is going to be different. But everybody gets upset. I go, just go back in time with me 20 years. Just 20 years ago when we started. If you told me, or if I told you, you would have to take your shoes off. Well, first of all, stand in a queue to take your shoes off, to go through a metal detector, get on a plane in a domestic flight, you would have thought I was absolutely nuts. Well, guess what? We take our shoes off, we go through a metal detector because some guy lit a fuse on a fucking shoe bomb one. We'll bleed that one out. But it's just overreaction and better safe than sorry approach, and you know what? That's the new norm. We're just going to have to get used to it.
In the meantime, I'm looking out behind you after the vineyard. The vines look just incredibly healthy. I'm sure you're keeping Greg and Gus busy.
Yeah, here lies the problem. If you shut down a restaurant, you shut down all your costs. Okay, you can kind of get through it. But I got vineyards that have no idea that there's a coronavirus and COVID-19 out there. I got wine that has no idea that there's a coronavirus. So, it's all moving forward. So yeah, we've got a full team out there that you got to pay, and you got to keep them busy, and they're essential workers, and God bless them for doing it. And they're doing it with a smile when, frankly, some of them would be better off on unemployment with a $600 a week stimulus check, and that's going to be a whole new norm coming up.
But you are keeping your staff employed.
The full-time staff, to the best of my ability, which is a double-edged sword, because at first I wanted everything to be packaged down here and made in whatever labor, but you don't want to have them come in and get sick by being at work. So we were very scared at first. Now we're not as scared, but we're taking the proper precautions, and people want to come back. They want to get to work. We got people right now that say, just get me out of the house. I'll do anything. And, we had a crew up here of wine servers and barbacks and cashiers cleaning the kitchens and cleaning stuff to get ready and helping putting the lipstick on the pig, so to speak, so that, if and when we'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, I've been out of work for almost 2 months. I would kiss someone for
right. It's not about the money sometimes, and I'm very well aware that I want to maximize their incomes. Whatever works best for them, but it's a two-way street. It's got to work well for us too. So we'll see. I don't know what the next week or two brings. It'll be interesting, but my inside track says it's days, not weeks.
Great.
Yeah.
We alluded to it earlier, but I'm looking over at the wall, a beautiful sign that says Wilson Creek 20th anniversary. 20 years ago, man.
You know what? We had, I can't tell you how many events we had to celebrate the 20th anniversary. And it's just going to get just under the radar. Yeah. And that's so sad, because 20 years is a long time.
It's a hell of an achievement, and congratulations, Bill.
Yeah, but I can't celebrate it with everybody.
Right.
I celebrate it virtually, woo, but we're going to have some humdingers of, how we like to roll.
Yes.
So, and it was going to start with Jerry's birthday, April 7th. He turned 90 years old.
God bless Jerry and Rosie.
We're going to have this big to-do, and basically, we had them out on the driveway, and we did a parade by them, and it was very touching. But that's all we could do.
How are your mom and dad?
They're decent. My dad took a little spill, and he went to the hospital because his blood went septic again. Again, he just tries to do too much for his age, so he's now recovering again, and he's been in quarantine since frickin' December. So he's ready to get out, but we won't let him out because he gets, God forbid, he gets COVID. Yeah. He's done.
Yeah.
And so he's still got the twinkle in his eye. Right. And Rosie's still the Energizer Bunny, and he can't keep her down. Like, Rosie, go back. Nope. She's Rosie. I'm not going to tell her what to do.
And I saw Jerry's Reuben on the menu board as I walked in.
And we turned it into a pizza.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I tell you what.
All right, I'm coming back for one of those.
I tell you what, Jerry's Reuben pizza is awesome. Yeah.
And you're doing slushies? Tell me
We're
about the
slushies.
slushies.
And God bless the slushies. Holy heck. People just want to get out, and they want to get out of their car, and they want to walk the 150 feet. They want to walk more. They want to walk around, but they go and they get their to-go slushies, and they wanted to go up into the parking lot, and we kind of had to shoo them away from that. They just want to come and hang out. Yeah. And they just wanted a break. That's their little kind of new norm. It's their sense of everything's going to be okay. If Wilson Creek can make their slushies, that everything's going to be okay. And it's been fun to watch and fun to see, and who knew, right? And they're good.
I got to try one.
Oh, they're good. They're good. Yeah, we got to try one. It's awesome.
Anything else you'd like to add in closing?
No, I just want to give my heartfelt thank you for those people that have bought online. our wine club members that have bought extra to support us, and the people that have come by saying, I can't wait. The people that would pick up their packages and just wishing us nothing but, the best. What can they do to help? Man, that gets you through. Believe it or not, I was kind of feeling sorry for myself on Sunday because I wanted it to open last weekend. I was kind of put some money on the 15th, but that didn't happen just internally. It was a joke. And so I kind of feel sorry for myself, and I didn't want to come down. I didn't want to be the bummer. But I came down, and guess who they lifted me. They just, they were just, it was so, I was like, okay, I love it, and, stop my little pity party. People are excited. It was awesome. So it was kind of cool.
Thanks, Bill. Always a pleasure.
You know what? Thanks to you. Keep it up. Keep the faith, and good things will happen. This too shall pass.
Bill's a great guy. I'm privileged to call him my friend. We had a very nice visit, and after the visit, we walked around a little bit. I tried one of the slushies. They're really pretty good. And he asked if I was hungry. I wasn't, but I'm going to come back and try one of the Jerry's Reuben pizzas, because I love Reubens and I love pizzas, and I can't imagine what the two of those combined are going to be like, but it sounds good to me. So thank you for bearing with me. We're figuring this all out as we go. This is the first time. If you came in late, I think you'll have the ability to start it over again from the beginning. I'll probably rebroadcast it. Like I said, we'll figure it out. Let me drain this, because you may have seen that Bill had a glass of wine in his hand. I had one as well. We were drinking the Molly's Merlot. Molly is one of the pigs that the Wilsons owned, and I didn't know that Molly had bitten Jerry Wilson, Bill's dad, a couple of years ago, and apparently made him pretty sick. He got some sepsis, but Jerry, God bless him, it just turned 90. He and Rosie are incredible. So I just did open the 2017 Meritage. A lot of people love to call this wine Meritage. It is not Meritage, it's Meritage. It's an American word. It was not coined by Robert Mondavi, although I've heard some people say that. It was a contest that they had in Napa to come up with a name for a blend of Bordeaux grapes. So it's Meritage, not Meritage, and I'll be off my soapbox now. So anyway, this is the 2017 Meritage from Wilson Creek. It's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Cab Franc. It was awarded 91 points by Wine Enthusiast and named Editor's Choice. It's on sale now. It's normally $64.99. It's 30% off. You can get it for $45.49 a bottle. Oh, what a pretty nose. It's aged in American and French oak barrels for 17 months. And they suggest you pair this with a barbecue tri-tip, grilled medium rare with a light adobo sauce, and then serve that with sauteed mushrooms and roasted fingerling potatoes. Oh, love the nose on this. Beautiful wine. Really, really exceptional. I've also been lucky enough to know Gus Visgurda, who is the winemaker at Wilson Creek for many, many years. Gus came over from Maurice Carré Winery quite a few years ago. Not only is he making exceptional wines, Greg Pennyroyal is their vineyard manager, and Greg really just, if you spend any time with him at all, it's so clear how passionate he is about the vines. And, that's the bottom line in wine. You can't make good wine from bad grapes, so you've got to get it right in the vineyard. I want to thank you so much for joining us this first time out. Sorry for the hiccups, sorry for the glitches, but we'll get it figured out. Tomorrow, I'm going back out into wine country. I'm going to head over to South Coast Winery, and I'll sit down with John McPherson, who is the winemaker at South Coast. I've been in touch with Jim Hart. We're going to visit. Akash Patel is going to visit with us. So this is just the beginning. Thank you so much. And won't you come back next week for WINEormous Tastes? I'm Tom Plant. And thanks to Kat Ellis, who is the lovely assistant behind the scenes. Cheers.